When I went out and I bought this T-shirt, what, a month and a half, 2 months ago, somewhere around there, I had no idea we'd be here. I cannot claim that through any clairvoyance I knew, but history should have told me, Shannon, when Carolina makes the playoffs, they make the most of it. They don't make the playoffs often, but boy howdy do they know how to win when they do. And this is another example of that. The New York Islanders have to be very frustrated right now. They've played very, very well. They just don't have a win to show for it through 3 games. And while we could argue about pucks, bounces, posts, and all this stuff, you could argue that in every series. The fact is the Carolina Hurricanes are now up 3-0, and they've now won 7 out of 8 games since going down 0-2 against the Washington Capitals. This has been an amazing run, so let's go through it. First off, Svechnikov and Martinook are back. So, while we're talking about a war of attrition for them in their last game, guess what? These guys are back, and while Mrazek doesn't start tonight, it's not a problem. The Canes had control, and as I'm writing it, Canes control leads to Teravainen scores from Slavin and Hamilton. So early in the game, and Carolina's in full control. Crowd goes insane. It's 1-0. And then the Carolina Hurricanes take a penalty soon after, and I put Islanders need to get going. It was obvious they needed some more energy. So they get it. Taves gets the power play goal. It looked like maybe Lee tipped it, but at this point, they're still showing it as being Devon Taves' goal. I don't know. I thought it was tipped by Lee. Bailey and Eberle with the assists as that goal stands right now. So a power play goal, and one of the storylines out of this is special teams have actually been in favor of the Islanders. Mayfield was then robbed by McElhinney. So amazing save by Curtis McElhinney, one of many he would make tonight. And the Canes need a power play goal. I put that right here before the end of the first because it feels like the Islanders can take penalties whenever they want because they don't have to worry about the penalty kill. And this is where a penalty kill that's not very good hurts you. It's not just a matter of not getting those goals. It's that the other team doesn't care if they're going to take a penalty. They might take some lazy penalties that otherwise wouldn't because it's like, well, they don't hurt us on the power play anyways. So it's 1-1 after 1. Pretty good game. Second period, I noticed that Beauvillier was in the middle of all the scrums. And I don't remember seeing Beauvillier as like in the middle of a scrum during the season or instigating anything, but Anthony Beauvillier definitely letting Carolina know that he's going to crash the net, he's going to cause problems, and he's going to get right in the middle of the mix. Then there was a fantastic goal line save by McElhinney. And again, I cannot stress enough just how important it is to have a second goaltender that can come in and play as well, if not better, than what Mrazek was doing through most of the second round and through the first. Then, on a power play, that the Islanders play actually pretty darn well, they mess things up. Nick Leddy actually messes things up. And Falk ends up with a breakaway as he gets out of the box. Great pass from Fogle. Stahl gets the second assist. And that felt like it was the change of momentum. The crowd goes crazy and feels like, hey, this is it. This is the big moment for Carolina. But what happens next? Bailey scores from Kuhnhackl. Now, the play we're going to be talking about isn't this goal by Bailey. It's what Brock Nelson did. If you watch this game, and I didn't see it until the replay either. I didn't see it in real time. But Brock Nelson, after the puck goes in, pats McElhinney on the head on the way by the net. Carolina Hurricanes didn't seem to see that at the time. I think they may have found out about it after the play took place. Boy howdy, I tell you. You know, Brock Nelson, for a guy who hasn't put the puck in the net, to be that cocky as to tap the other goalie on the head after he's allowed a goal from Josh Bailey. Don't do that when you're down 2-0. And especially don't do it on a night when you're about to go down 3-0. Because if this is a sweep, one of the storylines that will come out of this is Brock Nelson's inability to get the puck in the net. Not only that, but in this game when Taves scores that goal, the conversation on the bench was they finally got a goal. and they were laughing about it, that they finally scored a goal themselves, that Slavin didn't put that one in. But after that pat on the head, which again didn't seem to be caught in real time by the Carolina Hurricanes, it shows up in the replays where you go, wait a minute, did he just pat him on the head? And that was kind of my reaction, like, wait, what did he do? So, and at first I thought, well, maybe he's trying to stay out of the goalie's way. Maybe he was maybe he was going to interfere with the goalie, and he kind of, wards off. Nah. Mm-mm. So the Islanders are out playing their Carolina Hurricanes coming out of that play. So after that goal, Carolina was kind of on their heels. And then Cizikas with a late hit. Stupid interference penalty on Cizikas. He's off to the box, but the Canes can't score on the power play. And as I put up here, Canes power play is an issue. They cannot score on the power play. This Cizikas penalty, you've got to score on that because, yeah, that was a late hit. But anyways, guess what? Score is tied 2-2 after 2. And all I kept thinking was, if this goes to overtime and it's a 3-2 overtime game, won't surprise me at all. And in the third, the Islanders are buzzing early, and I thought, is Carolina finally gassed? Are we finally seeing a situation where the Carolina Hurricanes are tired? They played the 7 games against Washington. They had the double overtime. They've had overtime in the series. Are they finally tired and we're starting to see it? No. Against the flow of the play. Robin Lehner's got it behind his own net. He's got Hickey on the one side. May not have known Hickey was there, decided to try to play it through a player. That player's Sebastian Aho. That doesn't work. Aho with the steal passes it to Williams. Lehner never fully gets set for the shot, and Williams puts it in the net. So Lehner with the unofficial second assist on that one, and it is sadly for Islander fans, that's your winning goal. So Lehner, who's had this fantastic playoffs, that's not going to be a play that he's happy with himself for tonight. And then after that, as I put up here, Kane's second wind is confirmed. And they really had control over most of the play most of the night. 11-10 shots in the first, 14-12 shots in the second. And in the third, while the Islanders had the shots early, late, it all goes to Carolina. And I had to put down was crazy loud in Carolina. Now, not Chicago Stadium loud, definitely not, but pretty darn loud. And this crowd had a lot to cheer about. So Teravainen ends up getting the empty netter. Some scrambly play. And what's weird about this, again, and I'm really trying not to pile on Lehner. Lehner loses his stick. Leave the ice. You're down by a goal. There's a couple minutes left. They got to pull the goalie anyways. Don't worry about your stick. Just get off the ice. Eventually he does. I don't know that it would have mattered if he came out earlier. But Teravainen gets the empty netter from Pesce and Stahl. And then they pull the goalie again, because this is a thing now where when you're down by 2 with 40 seconds left, why not pull the goalie again? Sebastian Aho gets the empty netter there from Wallmark. So Aho with a goal and an assist tonight. We'll see if that gets him going. Carolina does outshoot the New York Islanders 13-8 tonight. What can I say? The Carolina Hurricanes are for real. This is a team that is legitimately a Stanley Cup contender right now. They are up 3-0 on the New York Islanders. And would any of us be really surprised if they don't pull off the sweep now in Game 4? For the New York Islanders, they've done everything they can. There isn't a whole lot you can look at in their game and say, well, if they did that a little better. Their penalty kill's been great. Their power play numbers haven't been bad. It's just Carolina's getting the puck luck. And it felt like it was turning around in this game, and then it didn't. Leonard saves 33 out of 36, and McElhinney saves 28 out of 30. Curtis McElhinney, again, shows that he is probably the most underrated goaltender in the league. And I can't help but in the back of my mind think back to before the season started. Toronto decides they're going to waive a goaltender, and they waive the one that Mike Babcock reportedly wanted to keep. That Babcock was upset to see McElhinney go because he wanted to keep him and let Sparks go. And Carolina could not be happier. This is the best I've seen McElhinney play in his career. And again, it just feels like every 10 years, approximately 7-10 years, Carolina, it's time to go on a run. And I don't know where this ends, because they still haven't got a great game out of Teravainen and Aho. They really haven't. One thing that's funny, and I have to mention this. They were discussing it with the panel in between the second and the third. They were talking about the plays that were going on, and Sebastian Aho with a nice play, and it was after they had talked about the pat on the head by Brock Nelson, and Kelly Rudy says Aho instead of Aho, and he goes, "Well, Aho here. Well, no, it's Aho." And somebody said, "You must be thinking of Brock Nelson," and they all thought that was really funny. So, yeah, don't start showboating and showing up the other team's goaltender in a game that's close when you're behind in the series. It can come back to haunt you. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I think this game was dynamite. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And if you are not watching this series, you've missed some really solid hockey. A lot of fun. And now I get to watch Dallas and St. Louis. We'll see if my gut instinct is right or wrong tonight. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.